One of the things that I noticed while working on this ARC was that it just seemed heavy. And the box specs say that the model should come in between 10 and 12 pounds, but I kind of have my doubts about that because the airframe itself just feels heavy. So I thought about some ways that I could help reduce the weight. One of the things that I did, which I'll be showing in an upcoming video, is that I removed the sheeting from the side of the fuselage aft of the cockpit. And you can see that in the fuselage just leaning up against the wall. Another thing that I did, or that I thought I could do to reduce some weight, was to change out the elevators. Now, the ARC comes from the factory with solid balsa elevator halves, and they just felt really heavy. So I thought I would take those and set them aside and make up some built-up elevators. So the first thing I did was I took the ARC elevators and I traced the outline onto some sheet balsa. And then I transferred the location of some hinge points. Now I had already installed hinge points into the horizontal stab and the solid balsa elevators before I decided to redo the elevators. So I just took those hinge point locations and transferred them over since I needed the built-up elevator holes to match up with the horizontal stab holes. And then I added the location for some balsa blocks that would be needed for the hinge points. After that, I marked the location of ribs. I've spaced out my rib locations at 2 inches apart, maybe a little bit close, but I'm going to do that again, trying to prevent to get any dips in the sheeting. Now, if the elevator had been a constant cord, it would have been easy to just cut out the ribs all the same size. I could gang them all together, sanded it, and it had all been perfect. But because this tapers, I won't be able to do that. So what I'm going to do is to cut out oversized blanks from the 1/16 inch balsa, glue them in place, and then sand down. The leading edge on this elevator is about a 1/4 inch thick from its widest point out to the very leading edge. So I'm going to use this 1/4 inch sheet and I'm going to cut out the leading edge. So right now what I'm going to do is transfer my rib locations to the 1/4 inch sheet. So therefore then I can glue my ribs to the leading edge using my tri-square, and that should make them perfectly perpendicular to the leading edge. The width of the leading edge is constant. It doesn't taper from the root out to the tip, so that'd be nice. I can make all of my rib blanks the same width. So it's just a single taper. It tapers from root to tip, but it does not taper along the leading edge. So this leading edge it's 1/32 of an inch short of 1/2 inch. It's 15/32 of an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and mark out a full 1/2 inch. Gives me a little bit of sanding room. I'm going to cut this 1/4 inch leading edge at 1/2 inch. I've cut all of my individual oversized balsa ribs. The leading edge is a little bit oversized. The balsa rib is a little bit oversized. I'll glue it in using a tri-square and then sand to shape. After gluing on all my ribs, I took it outside, tried to sand it, but because I didn't have any slots for my ribs to fit into, they were a little bit fragile as I was sanding. So I came back and I added some gussets for each individual rib. And I sanded down the ribs, but I wasn't really happy with the way that the sheeting was going to work. So I've changed my mind. Instead of doing the 3/32 inch sheeting, I'm going to make it 1/16 of an inch sheeting, and then I'm going to use the 3/32 inch balsa to make the ribs. So I've cut out 7 rib blanks, and I have already glued in my leading edge to the bottom sheeting. I sanded a bevel on it, which gives it the correct angle with the way the rib sits. Now I'll glue the ribs in. Now I'm going to also have to bevel the edge that rests against the trailing edge, because the sheeting, the sheeting angles a little bit. So I'll do that as I go. I've already glued in. Basically what I did was I cut out the previous ribs that I had, leaving the gussets, and I will bevel these and then glue them to both the sheeting and to the gussets. This part of the video shows the installation of the hinge points to the original solid balsa elevators. This Robart pin hinges, they start round and then they kind of go to a rectangular shape as they get close to the hinge pin. And that makes them difficult to put all the way in. So you usually have 2 choices here. You can either take a larger diameter drill bit and kind of round out a little bit, or you can cut kind of a rectangular shape. And that's what I'm going to do here. I don't have a good hobby knife. I'm basically at the mercy of the tools that I can get from my brother while I'm at his house. But that shouldn't stop me from building, should it? So I'm going to use a box cutter. It works okay. You can't get quite the same control that you can with a hobby knife. But I'm going to give it a whirl here and see if I can cut them out. I just need a little bit of a rectangular shape, and as you can see, I've already done this one here. You need just enough where you can get the rivet head in and get your barrel about as even hinge line as possible. So this is the wider part of the rectangle, if you will. I'm going to put the head of the rivet there. And not quite enough. I wonder if I have... I might not have drilled... I don't think I drilled that one quite deep enough. With these hinge points, it's okay if the hinge goes in a little bit this way or a little bit this way, because obviously it's rotating about the hinge points. The real key is that you don't want it to angle this way or this way. That can create binding. So I'm going to get it close to center, but I'm not going to really be too concerned if it's off this way or this way a little bit. Alright, looks like I got them right along the edge. Let's go and drill it out a little bit. Okay, that is smooth. What I need to do now is try to embed this part of the hinge point more into the elevator so I can close this gap. Now that, I really wish I had a nice fine tooth razor saw, which I don't have, so I'm just going to have to try to use this box cutter again. Alright, that's better. Close the gap. Let's see if I can exercise this without opening that gap. And that's going to work pretty good. That's right on the 45 and the gap has stayed nice and closed. I think this is going to work. I've got the rudder just sort of hanging in position right now, trying to determine the location where I want to put the Robart hinge points. I got a couple of packaging cards kind of giving a little bit of gap between the rudder and the fin, and it's going to fit nicely at the bottom. Looks like it's coming right to the bottom of where the gear and a tail gear will attach. And not only am I having to look for the Robart hinge points, but I also want to figure out where I want to put the control horn. This is going to be a pull for the rudder. Now these are the elevator servo cutouts, and to tell you the truth, I really don't like this position, but I guess I'm going to have to live with it. The servo horns or arms are going to be about 1 inch long, and then with about 1 inch of the control horn, it's going to have a fairly good upward slope to it.
Not something I'm really thrilled about, but it'll work. So leaving some room here for the pull cable to come out, I think I'm going to have to end up putting the control horn right about here, which is okay. I mean, I've got a lot of meat right here, as you can see, to play with. So that should work okay, and I think I can just run it right along through here, and it should be pretty much a straight shot. I think the servo's going to sit right about here. So that should work well. Now, because it's the rudder and because it's gonna, the tail wheel will be connected to this somehow, I'm gonna have 3 hinge points. I want to have one up here right above this rib, and then a second one right about here, and then have the third one, I think, right about down here. Now, what that is going to entail is, because the fin tail post is part of the fin, I'm going to have to actually get this fin, I think, attached where I want it, and then I can drill my hole for my hinge point. That's going to be a little bit tricky, I think. And you can see here, I already put a finger in it and through the sheeting. It was sort of on purpose. Actually, this fin is pretty heavy, and I thought it might have been solid wood. So I was kind of squeezing, the middle part here to see if it was solid, and nope, it's not solid. Yeah, I put my finger right through it. So I've had to repair that. No big deal. Rudder's been hinged. I did have to move the hinge for the rudder down. I couldn't get the drill bit up here where this mark was because of the top of the fin, so I had to move it down some. No big deal. And then the middle one and then the bottom one is not in. It's been drilled on both sides, but it's not in because it's too long. I did not drill the hole yet in the fin post, so the hinge won't fit, but looks good. Everything seems to fit really well. Nice even gap there, and it's flush. The rudder is flush with both sides of the fin, so I'm pretty pleased with that.